All right, Julia, thanks for being here. Appreciate you taking a few minutes. Been wonderful to work with you and all your colleagues at Field. It's a fantastic school. Thank you for the hospitality earlier this year and saw the campus firsthand. It really is spectacular. And we'll get into that a bit, but want to just first start with your background and what drew you to Field.
Sure. Thank you. So, a little bit about my background. I grew up in North Carolina. I'm a product of independent schools. I went through an independent school pre-K through 12th grade, and really had an amazing experience there. And when I went into college, studied education alongside my major and was able to do some student teaching. And from that time on, really was drawn to education, drawn to being around students, being around faculty, and sort of the vibrancy of school communities. When I started looking for a job, I went to college in North Carolina and was looking for a new place, a new adventure, and sort of settled on a few different cities, DC being one of them. And when I went and looked at schools, Field really stuck out to me, honestly, because of the mission. It That really stuck out to me the most. I could immediately sense sort of the intentionality with faculty, with students, and the real breadth of students and families that were attracted to the school. I've been here for close to 20 years now, not quite at the 20-year mark, and the school has grown and evolved in a lot of ways since I've been here, but has been true to that mission the whole time that got me in the door in the first place.
Wow, that's outstanding. And I should also probably ask you what's kept you there, and maybe I will later on. But talk a bit, and you mentioned evolution, and I would just I have to ask, like, how talk a bit about the school and its culture. What has changed over the years? But I know, having worked in schools, there are some core tenets or fundamentals in every community. What stayed the same, or just what's the DNA like on the
Mhm.
ground?
I think the things that have stayed the same is it is a place where innovation, where collaboration, really meeting what students need in whatever moment we're in is at the core of the place and at the core of what we are trying to do as students. And by the nature of that being at the core, of course, what that looks like changes over time. What students needed coming right out of COVID is different than what they need now, was different than what they needed before. And so we really pride ourselves on meeting the moment in education. And that tenet has really remained core throughout my time here. We've also remained true to the idea that we aren't trying to produce a sort of cookie cutter field graduate. We are trying to help students really discover their authentic selves, understand who they are, and be the best version of themselves they can be by the time they graduate and be equipped with the skills, the mindset, the outlook that's going to help them succeed in whatever path, area of interest, passion that they have in front of them. And I think that freedom to be who they are really goes into all aspects of the culture here, both the student culture and the faculty culture.
You mentioned innovation. You mentioned not a cookie cutter approach, and I would love to bring in a few things that we talked about in the document. There's some exciting construction going on. Wow, both physical, but I would
Mhm,
say also sort of design wise when it comes to how you um, identify, assessment metrics and think
mhm.
more creatively about what it means to be prepared in the world and what how just giving students just different ways to express and demonstrate their learning. Talk a bit about a couple of initiatives and what's going on. I think a good tech director would be really just keen to hear more in those lanes.
Yeah. So a few years ago, we started two interconnected but really core projects. One was sort of in lieu of a strategic plan, we put a lot of time and energy into drafting our vision for the future of teaching and learning. And that's a two-page document that really sets both what we believe about education and also sets some key goals about where we're going in education. Alongside that, we started working on a campus master plan to make sure that our facilities really were set up to allow us to teach in the way that we wanted to teach and not be a hindrance to the really wonderful things our faculty were doing in the classroom. And at the intersection of those two things came a lot of really exciting things. We're just finishing our third, what we call a summer slam, 3 summers in a row of these shorter bursts of renovations to existing spaces. Started with our science labs 3 summers ago, and we just completed an athletic training facility. And then coming next is a Think Studio expansion of our building. And really what that is a 15,000 square foot addition really to our current meeting space that has a fabrication studio. It has a digital design studio. It has a video and recording studio alongside some gallery space for students and display space that's really going to allow us to actually meet that vision for the future of teaching and learning by giving kids problem-based real-world scenarios, having them really dive into projects, interdisciplinary work, and capstone experiences that allow them to showcase that. And to do that, and to do that well, and allow those things to really push students, we've transitioned to having 9 core standards for all of our courses and standard-based assessment for our courses as well, which allows our teachers to be really creative in the content, in the application of that content, and know that we are meeting these core standards across our courses.
Wow, that's great. And I think there's just a lot of great energy I can tell behind those initiatives when we were out there. So let's now turn our focus to the tech department and this tech role. It's a small department, and but it plays a big role and it has a huge impact throughout campus. Reports to you, and has emphasis on both the operational and academic side. Just tell folks a little bit about the importance of the tech program and what you're looking for in your next partner.
Sure. So, I mean, when I think about technology at its broadest, there's not a thing in a school that technology doesn't touch in some way, right? And at this point, there's technology involved both on the operational and program side in so many different things. And so, really looking for someone that can have that strategic view of the role that technology plays in an institution, both from an infrastructure standpoint, but also what are those things coming as AI becomes more infused into everything, right? What are the strategic decisions we need to be thinking through as a school and how we approach those? Having that thought partner who can bring those ideas to all of us, or we can bring ideas and thoughts or concerns to that person and really think through what's best for field, what helps us continue to meet our mission, what might be on the horizon that we're not thinking about yet, but somebody steeped in technology would be. And as we do these exciting additions and have new space coming up, making sure that the technology we're putting into those spaces is, again, meeting that goal of allowing our teachers to do all of the exciting things that they're doing on a day-to-day basis in class. Doesn't need to be an ed tech expert, doesn't need to be a classroom teacher, but really being able to have that overview of the way that we think about buildings not wanting to be a hindrance, also not wanting our technology to be a hindrance, and thinking creatively about how it supports our program.
I think that's really important. And as you think about the physical infrastructure that you're putting in, but also the systems design when it comes to standards assessment, it really is about kind of future proofing or helping these initiatives to sort of roll out effectively vis-a-vis technology, so they can be there for years to come and serve the next generation of field students. I guess finally, and speaking about years to come or longevity, back to what I had sort of hinted earlier, you've been there a while. I asked you what drew you to field, but again, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask what's kept you there, and just whether or not the next tech director stays 20 years. I think the most important thing is for someone who feels mission aligned, who feels drawn to the community, and just feels that connection. You felt that. Talk about just why field has been so right for you and what's kept you there for just a good chunk of your career.
Honestly, I think the people, the community, it is a really wonderful place to work. I think there's a sense of it's beyond camaraderie. It's that we're all sort of marching towards the same goal, and that goal isn't stagnant, right? It's that we are able to grow as professionals. I think 20 years would be too long at a school if I wasn't able to grow in different ways. And that's not always title changes. Sometimes that's just, this is something I'm interested in and want to learn more about. And Field has always been a place that's really supported faculty in that and allowing them to grow in their professional goals. And that's been really important to me. I also think there's just something to be said about the community. People are really kind, smart, working hard, and when you're in that community of people, it's a great feeling to be part of that and to be part of a team. We joke that we're sort of relentlessly collaborative here, and I think that feels good. It feels good to be part of a team that's working hard towards something and supporting each other. And I would be remiss to not say I really like the kids. They're great. The kids and families that are drawn here are really interesting, smart, dynamic people, and that's exciting.
Well, we met a lot of interesting, smart, dynamic people when we were there in June. Your head of school was amazing. You as the assistant head, just so many great thinkers and leaders and curious minds, I would
Mhm.
say, as you are striving to really serve those kids. And what a beautiful, spectacular campus. Some of the best views in DC. I just got to throw that out there. Um,
Mhm.
Thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure working with you so far, and we look forward to working with you on the rest of the search.
Thank you.